Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's Ameen here from Muslim CEO, and we're back with this marketing channel series. Last episode I talked about Facebook advertising. In this episode I'm going to talk about one of the more low-key, even though to some people that would be completely wrong to say, but to a lot of people a more low-key advertising platform, and that is Google Ads. Now Google Ads is bigger than Facebook, right? It's been around for longer than Facebook, and it covers more, I would say, diverse kind of platforms or places you can reach people than Facebook. However, there's been a lot of hype around Facebook advertising in the last few years, 4 or 5 years. Facebook's really come up, and it's got that feedback loop that I talked about, which really made the advertising powerful, as well as all that social data. Now Google itself is still extremely powerful, and sometimes with people who are coming up in marketing in the last 4 or 5 years, they've really kind of neglected Google because the hype was all on Facebook. But those who have been around longer than that, they will know that Google is a beast in the advertising world. When it comes to Google, there are some unique things about Google. Firstly, where can you visit people? Can you reach people with Google? Firstly, it's through search. So when you search on Google, which is obviously the biggest search engine in the world, when you search on Google, you can reach people based on what they've searched, what they've typed. Okay, so that's called Google search. Okay, so you've probably seen those ads, of course. Also, you can reach people through the Google Display Network, and this is similar to the audience network that Facebook has, but it reaches a lot more websites, right? So it's very common for blogs and different publishers to put Google AdSense ads on their website, which means that you can put your ads on these big publishers' websites just through the Google Ads platform. Okay, so the second one after search is Google Display Network, and that is where you can put your ads on all these websites, all these publishers' websites and blogs and stuff like that. The third big huge place is YouTube. Now YouTube, I believe it's the second or third biggest search engine, right, in terms of usage. So you've got Google number one, and then you've got YouTube, which is number 2 or 3, right? I think Amazon is 2 or 3, I'm not sure, I get them mixed up, right? So YouTube obviously is a great opportunity when it comes to reaching people through video, also by search results, also by coming up on the side of video. So there's a lot of places where you can put your ads when it comes to YouTube, and of course video is very big right now, so you can reach people when they're watching a video, like when they're in video watching mode, you're kind of coming in front of that ad that they're watching, right? So YouTube is very interesting as well. Now the targeting for Google is very powerful, I would say. It's just different to Facebook, okay? So when it comes to YouTube, I would say the targeting is a little bit similar to Facebook. You can target by interest, by what people are in the market for. You can also target by keyword though, like the keyword of the video that the person is watching, right? So there's a lot of options actually when it comes to targeting on YouTube. When it comes to Google Display, that's something that I would say, just to make it easier for people, we would use that mostly for retargeting, meaning targeting people who already visited your website, because it can get very broad when it comes to Google Display, and the targeting is not quite as honed in as Facebook. And then when it comes to Google Search, of course, that's quite narrow. That's like people who are searching these specific keywords, that they're interested, they have intent in terms of finding out about a service related to whatever keyword that is, and therefore it's quite targeted, very targeted. However, you're going to be limited by the number of people who are searching those keywords. So sometimes you have to get quite creative to find people that might be searching for a similar kind of area to what you offer. Okay, so those are kind of all the areas you can reach. That's how the targeting works. I would say overall Google is a beast. Don't neglect Google. And when it comes to advertising, digital advertising in general, especially if you're not doing like tens of millions a year or something like that, then you just want to focus on these two, basically Google, which includes YouTube, and then Facebook. These are the two huge advertising platforms out there. Very good, both of them very good, and you might just want to focus on one at a time, get good, get profitable at one of them, and then move on to the other when you need that extra scale. But remember, you can get very huge scale with just one of these two, okay? So yeah, that'll be that for this episode of Marketing Channel series. We talked about Facebook ads, now we talked about Google ads, and we'll move on to another channel in the next one, inshallah.